My child, stop for a moment. Do not move past this message. Do not convince yourself that this is just another video, another title, or another passing moment on your screen. You have been selected for this hidden message, and before you dismiss those words, I need you to understand something. Out of all the things you could be looking at right now, out of all the voices competing for your attention, your eyes stopped here. Your heart paused here. Something inside you felt drawn to stay, even if you could not explain why. That is not an accident. I know the questions you have been carrying. I know the silent battles you have been fighting behind closed doors. I know how tired you have become from pretending everything is fine while your heart keeps searching for answers. There have been moments recently when you felt disconnected, confused, or uncertain about what comes next. You have tried to keep moving forward, but deep inside, you have been asking for clarity. You have been asking for a sign. You have been wondering if I still see you, if I still hear you, if I am still working in your life while everything feels delayed. I am speaking to you now because I do see you. This hidden message is not for everyone. It is for the one whose heart hath been carrying more than others realize. It is for the one who has been trying to stay strong while quietly feeling overwhelmed. It is for the one who almost gave up hope but kept holding on anyway. If that is you, then listen carefully, because what I am about to reveal is connected to the very things you have been wrestling with in silence. Do not leave this message halfway through. Do not allow distraction to pull you away before you hear what your spirit needs to hear. There are things I need you to understand about your life, your pain, your waiting season, and the future you cannot yet see. If you walk away too quickly, you may miss the confirmation you have been praying for. But if you stay, if you listen with an open heart, you may finally begin to understand why certain doors closed, why certain seasons lasted longer than expected, and why I brought you to this exact moment. Take a deep breath, my child. Quiet the noise around you. Set aside your doubts for a little while and listen closely. You have been selected for this hidden message, and what I am about to share may change the way you see everything that has been happening in your life. My child, you have been carrying questions, exhaustion, fear, and emotional weight that nobody fully sees, and today I am speaking directly into the middle of it. There is something hidden unfolding around your life right now. What I am about to reveal will touch places inside your heart you have tried to silence for far too long. This message was meant to find you personally. Listen carefully now, because the next few moments may shift the way you see your life, your pain, and your future forever. My beloved child, I know how quickly your mind moves these days. I know how often your thoughts pull you in 10 different directions at once, leaving you emotionally exhausted before the day is even over. You have been carrying things inside your heart that nobody fully understands. Even the people closest to you have only seen fragments of what you have been trying to survive internally. Yet through all of it, I have stayed near you. I have watched every quiet battle, every hidden disappointment, every moment you questioned whether your life was still moving toward something meaningful. That is why I brought you here now. This moment was not random. You were not simply passing by these words. Deep inside, something in your spirit recognized that I was trying to reach you personally. You have been sensing for a while that something around your life feels different lately, even if you could not explain it clearly. Certain moments have felt unusually heavy. Small things have affected your heart more deeply than before. Some nights have carried a strange mixture of restlessness and longing that you could not put into words. Part of you has been trying to push through life normally, while another part quietly feels like it has been searching for something deeper, something real enough to steady your soul again. I know you have tried distracting yourself from those feelings at times. You kept moving, kept working, kept handling responsibilities, hoping the emptiness would eventually fade on its own. But your heart was never created to live disconnected from me. That ache inside you was not weakness. It was your spirit trying to find its way back to my voice. You have asked yourself questions you rarely say out loud. You wonder why some prayers seemed unanswered for so long. You wonder why certain people disappeared from your life after you gave them your trust. You wonder why you keep carrying emotional fatigue even after trying so hard to stay strong. I have heard every one of those thoughts, even the ones you buried beneath silence. Sometimes you believe nobody notices how tired you really are because you have become skilled at hiding it. You learned how to keep functioning while quietly carrying discouragement underneath your smile. But I never missed any of it. I saw the nights when your mind would not rest. I saw the moments you sat alone trying to convince yourself that tomorrow would feel lighter. I stayed close during every second of it, even when you felt emotionally disconnected from everything around you. There is something important I need you to understand now. The fact that you are here reading this is not coincidence. I know the world often teaches you to dismiss moments like this as random or insignificant, but your life has never been random to me. I have been guiding you in ways you did not recognize. Even the delays, the frustrations, and the closed doors that confused you were often protecting you from paths that would have wounded you far more deeply later. You could not see what I could see. There were moments you felt rejected when I was actually redirecting you. There were situations you mourned losing that would have slowly drained the peace from your life if they had remained. You are entering a season where I want your heart to stop living in constant survival mode. For too long, you have carried tension as though you always needed to prepare yourself for disappointment. You became cautious with hope because life taught you how painful unmet expectations can feel. Still, I have not abandoned the future I placed before you. There are parts of your story that are still unfolding, even now. I know you sometimes feel behind compared to others around you, but your journey was never meant to mirror theirs. I have been shaping something inside you through every difficult chapter you survived. Even now, your sensitivity, your compassion, and your endurance are becoming part of the strength that will carry you into the next season of your life. And that is why I needed you to stop here today. I needed your heart to remember that you are still seen, still guided, and still deeply loved by me, even in the middle of your confusion. Nothing about your life has slipped beyond my reach. I have not lost sight of you for a single moment. My child, I want you to stop pretending for a moment that everything inside you is fine. You have become so accustomed to carrying emotional weight quietly that even you sometimes forget how exhausted your heart truly feels. People see you continue moving forward. They see you handling responsibilities, answering messages, showing up when needed, and trying to keep life together. What they do not see are the moments when your energy disappears the second you are alone. They do not hear the conversations happening inside your mind late at night when your thoughts begin circling through worries you never fully speak aloud. I have seen all of it. I have watched you push yourself through days when your spirit felt drained long before the morning ended. You keep telling yourself that you just need to hold on a little longer. But the deeper truth is that your soul has been crying out for rest that sleep alone cannot provide. There is a difference between physical tiredness and the kind of heaviness that settles deep inside your heart after disappointment keeps repeating itself. You have carried silent grief over things you lost, relationships that changed, opportunities that collapsed, and prayers that seemed delayed beyond what made sense to you. Some of those disappointments still sit inside you even now. You tried to move on quickly because you believed staying emotional would make you weak, but pain ignored is still pain carried. I never asked you to bury your hurt beneath a forced smile. Come closer to me now. Stop running from your own emotions. Let yourself admit that some parts of you are still wounded. You do not need to impress me with constant strength. I already know the places inside you that feel worn down. I know how discouragement quietly entered your thoughts after certain doors closed. I know how difficult it became for you to trust people fully after being let down repeatedly. Even now, there are moments you expect disappointment before anything has even happened because your heart became conditioned to prepare for loss. Still, you are here. That matters more than you realize. Despite everything that tried to emotionally crush you, something inside you kept reaching for hope. Even when your faith felt fragile, you never completely walked away from me. I saw the nights when you whispered small prayers while feeling emotionally numb. I heard the sighs you released when words felt too difficult to form. Your silence never confused me because I understand every part of your heart completely. And now listen carefully to me. Stop carrying every burden as though you were meant to survive life alone. Open your heart again. Invite me into the places you keep locked away from everyone else. Let me sit with you inside the confusion you have been hiding. You do not have to fix yourself before coming closer to me. You do not need perfect faith before receiving peace. Just stop resisting my presence long enough to let your soul breathe again. The weight you have been dragging behind you was never meant to become your permanent identity. Lay it down slowly. Trust me enough to believe that your life is not falling apart beyond repair. I am still guiding you, even through seasons that feel uncertain. My beloved child, I know there are still moments when you look back at certain parts of your life and wonder why things unfolded the way they did. Some endings still confuse you. Some closed doors still hurt when you remember how badly you wanted them to work out. You prayed over certain relationships. You invested your energy into plans you believed would finally bring stability into your life. You imagined futures that felt real in your heart, only to watch them slowly disappear in ways you never expected. At times, it made you question whether I was listening to you at all. You thought silence meant absence. You thought delay meant rejection. But I need you to understand something deeper now. Some of the things you lost were never punishment. They were protection. You could not see the full picture while you were standing inside those moments. Your emotions only allowed you to see what you wanted, not what would eventually damage your peace. There were people you desperately tried to hold onto who would have slowly emptied your spirit if they had remained close to you. There were opportunities that looked exciting at first but carried pressure, confusion, and hidden consequences you were not prepared for yet. You asked me to bless certain paths while I was quietly trying to rescue you from them. That is why some doors closed no matter how hard you pushed against them. I know rejection wounded your confidence. I know disappointment made you question your worth. Some losses left you replaying conversations repeatedly in your mind, wondering what you could have done differently. You blamed yourself for things that were never entirely your fault. Meanwhile, I was trying to guide your life away from places that would have drained your joy over time. You only saw the heartbreak of losing something. I saw the hidden danger of keeping it. Now I need you to release the belief that every closed door means failure. Stop interpreting every delay as proof that your future is collapsing. Some interruptions are acts of mercy. Some unanswered prayers are actually evidence that I was paying closer attention to your life than you realized. You asked me to guide you, and sometimes guidance means removing things your heart is still emotionally attached to. That process is painful, but pain does not always mean abandonment. So breathe for a moment and stop fighting every ending that already passed. Let your heart loosen its grip on what no longer belongs in your future. Invite peace back into your thinking. Trust me enough to believe that I can still lead you toward something healthier, steadier, and far more aligned with the life your soul truly needs. Your story did not collapse because certain doors closed. In many ways, Your life was being preserved without you fully realizing it at the time. My child, I want you to be honest with yourself now. You have spent a long time trying to fill an emptiness that nothing around you has been able to satisfy completely. You kept hoping the next achievement would finally quiet the restlessness inside you. You thought maybe more success, more attention, more stability, or more approval would settle your heart. Yet every time you reached something you once desired, the feeling faded faster than you expected. You smiled in the moment, but afterward the silence returned again. Deep down, you already know why. Your soul was never designed to survive on temporary things alone. You have been trying so hard to keep yourself emotionally afloat. Some days you distract yourself just to avoid sitting too long with your own thoughts. You fill your schedule, scroll endlessly, stay busy, and keep your mind occupied because slowing down forces you to confront emotions you are not sure how to process anymore. But listen to me carefully now. Stop running from your own heart. Sit with me for a moment instead. Let your spirit breathe. Let yourself acknowledge that the ache inside you is not foolish and it is not weakness. It is the cry of a soul longing for deeper peace. I know there are moments when you feel disconnected even while surrounded by people. Conversations happen around you while part of your heart quietly drifts somewhere else. You laugh, respond, and continue functioning, yet inwardly you still feel alone in ways you cannot fully explain. That loneliness has confused you because you thought being around others would automatically heal it. But connection without understanding can still leave a person empty. I understand you fully. I know the version of you that nobody else sees. I know your hidden fears, your private disappointments, and the silent pressure you place upon yourself every day. Come closer now and stop treating your relationship with me like a distant obligation. Open your heart honestly. Speak to me naturally. You do not need polished words or perfect emotions before approaching me. Bring me your confusion exactly as it is. Bring me your tiredness without trying to hide it behind strength. Let me into the parts of your life you have kept guarded because of fear or disappointment. I am not standing over you waiting to condemn you. I am inviting you into peace that runs deeper than temporary comfort. You have been craving something authentic because your spirit recognizes how exhausting superficial living has become. The world offers noise everywhere you turn, yet your soul has been starving for quiet truth. That is why this message feels personal to you. Your heart recognizes my voice even when your mind struggles to explain it. So stop resisting the invitation I am placing before you now. Slow down. Breathe deeply. Let your walls soften. There is healing waiting for you when you finally stop searching everywhere else for what can only be restored through closeness with me. My child, the emptiness you once tried to fill with temporary things is the very reason I am calling you into something eternal now. Every seed you sow into spreading my word becomes a river of healing flowing toward another weary soul searching for truth in the darkness. Did I not say, "Give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over"? I am breathing that promise over you even now. When you release your support through super thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link waiting in the video description, you are not merely giving money. You are placing oil into lamps that will continue shining for hearts on the edge of hopelessness. I see those who respond quickly when I stir their spirit, and I multiply what they place in my hands. This is not coincidence. This moment is a divine invitation prepared before you arrived here. Do not ignore the pull you feel inside your heart right now. Act immediately, sow your seed, and help carry my voice to souls crying out for peace. My beloved child, there are memories you still carry quietly because they were formed during moments when nobody else truly saw what you were going through. I remember the nights when you laid awake staring into darkness while your thoughts moved in circles that would not stop. Your body felt tired, but your mind refused to rest. You replayed conversations. You worried about the future. You questioned yourself more heartily than anyone around you ever could. Some nights you felt emotionally overwhelmed for reasons you could not even fully explain. You just knew your heart felt heavy. And through every one of those nights, I stayed beside you. You thought you were alone in those moments. You believed your silent tears disappeared unnoticed because nobody checked on you and nobody heard the thoughts racing inside your head. Yet I heard every sigh. I noticed every moment your breathing changed from stress. I saw you sit in silence trying to hold yourself together when your emotions felt close to spilling over. You did not need to speak out loud for me to understand what was happening inside you. I understood the exhaustion underneath your smile long before anyone else recognized it. There were nights you reached for distractions because being alone with your thoughts felt unbearable. You searched for comfort in temporary places, hoping something would calm the pressure building inside your chest. Sometimes you blamed yourself for feeling emotionally weak. You wondered why peace seemed easier for everyone else while your own mind felt crowded with tension and uncertainty. But listen to me carefully now. Stop punishing yourself for being human. Stop believing that struggling quietly means you are failing spiritually. Pain does not make you abandoned. Emotional battles do not make you unloved. I want you to do something now. Let yourself remember those nights differently. Instead of seeing yourself as abandoned, begin seeing how many times you survived moments you thought would emotionally break you. You kept waking up. You kept moving forward. You kept carrying responsibilities even when your spirit felt drained. That strength did not come from nowhere. I was sustaining you in ways you could not fully recognize at the time. Invite me into your nights again instead of suffering alone inside your thoughts. When anxiety rises, stop trying to fight every battle entirely within your own mind. Speak to me honestly. Sit quietly with me. Let your heart unload what it has been carrying. You do not need to perform strength for me. I already know where you hurt. I already understand what keeps you awake. And I need you to hear this clearly now. The difficult nights did not destroy your future. They shaped a deeper sensitivity inside you. They taught you compassion for people carrying hidden pain. They softened parts of your heart that success alone never could. Even in seasons that felt dark and confusing, I was still protecting your life from falling apart completely. You survived more than you give yourself credit for, my child. My child, I know how often you compare your life to the lives of people around you. You see others moving forward, building families, finding opportunities, reaching milestones, and stepping into seasons you once imagined for yourself. Meanwhile, you look at your own journey and quietly wonder why your path has felt slower, heavier, and far more uncertain. Sometimes that comparison settles into your heart so deeply that you begin believing something must be wrong with you. You question your timing. You question your choices. At times, you even question whether I still have something meaningful prepared for your future. I need you to stop carrying that fear any longer. Come closer and listen carefully to me now. You are not behind. Your story has never been operating on the same timeline as everyone around you. I know the world pressures you to measure your value by speed, visibility, and outward success. Everywhere you turn, people celebrate quick results, instant recognition, and polished appearances. Yet very little of what is rushed grows strong roots. I have been building depth inside you, not just outward progress. That process takes time. Your human heart does not always understand while you are living through it. You only see pieces of your story while I see the entire road ahead. There were seasons when I intentionally slowed certain things down because your heart needed healing before it could safely carry what you were praying for. Some blessings arrived later because you were still recovering from emotional wounds you had not fully acknowledged yet. You kept asking me to open doors while parts of your spirit were still exhausted from surviving previous battles. If I had released everything too early, the pressure alone would have overwhelmed you. I know waiting has frustrated you. Some delays made you feel invisible. Some seasons felt painfully quiet while you watched other people move ahead. But do not mistake silence for abandonment. A seed buried underground looks hidden before it becomes fruitful. Much of what I have been doing in your life hath been happening beneath the surface where human eyes cannot measure it properly. Your endurance, your compassion, your emotional awareness, and even your sensitivity have all been shaped during seasons that looked unproductive from the outside. Now stop speaking over your future with hopelessness. Stop calling yourself late when I am still actively guiding your steps. Lift your head again. Release the pressure to race through life trying to catch up with everybody else. Your journey carries details that are uniquely yours, and comparison has been stealing peace from your heart for far too long. Invite me into your fears about the future instead of silently carrying them alone. Let me steady your thinking. Let me teach you how to trust timing you cannot fully control. You have not missed your purpose. You have not ruined your future because certain seasons took longer than expected. What I am building inside your life requires patience, wisdom, and emotional maturity that rushed success could never produce. So breathe deeply now and stop condemning yourself for the pace of your journey. I have not forgotten where I am leading you. My beloved child, there are still names that quietly echo inside your heart sometimes. Certain faces still appear in your memory without warning, bringing back emotions you thought had already settled. You remember conversations, promises, plans, and moments when you genuinely believed some people would remain part of your life forever. Your absence changed something inside you. Even now, part of you still wonders why certain people walked away so easily after you gave them your trust, your loyalty, and your care. I know how deeply those departures wounded you. You tried blaming yourself for many of those endings. You replayed situations repeatedly in your mind, searching for answers that never fully came. You wondered if you were too emotional, too sensitive, too difficult, or simply not enough for people to stay. Meanwhile, I was watching your heart carry grief that nobody else could fully see. Some losses affected you more deeply than you admitted because you truly loved those people. You invested pieces of yourself into relationships you believed were safe. When those connections broke apart, it felt personal in ways words could barely explain. But I need you to hear something now that may be difficult for your heart to accept at first. Not every person who leaves your life is meant to return. Some people were only assigned to a chapter, not your entire journey. You kept trying to hold on to certain relationships long after their season had ended because your heart feared loneliness more than unhealthy attachment. Yet I was protecting your future in ways you could not recognize while your emotions were still entangled in the pain of losing them. There were people who appreciated your kindness but could not understand your depth. Some enjoyed your presence while resisting the growth happening inside you. Others wanted access to your comfort without supporting your healing. If they had remained close while you continued changing, they would have constantly pulled your spirit backward into patterns I was trying to free you from. That is why some separations happened even when you prayed desperately for restoration. And now release the need to chase every person who walked away from you. Stop exhausting your heart trying to force connections that no longer carry peace. Let your hands open slowly. Allow me to remove relationships that no longer align with the direction your life is moving. Trust me enough to believe that loneliness is not always punishment. Sometimes solitude becomes the quiet space where healing finally begins properly. I know you still miss certain people. I know there are days when the silence left behind by their absence feels heavy. But do not confuse familiarity with destiny. Some people were comforting while still being unhealthy for your future. Invite me into your grief instead of hiding it behind pride. Let me heal the places rejection bruised inside you. Your heart deserves relationships that bring honesty, peace, encouragement, and emotional safety. Do not keep begging for access to places I already closed for your protection. My child, there is something painful you have slowly started believing about yourself, and I need you to release it now. Somewhere along the journey, after enough disappointments, delays, mistakes, and emotional wounds, you quietly began measuring your worth by what went wrong in your life. You started looking at yourself through the lens of failure instead of truth. Every setback chipped away at your confidence little by little until even your own reflection felt heavier to carry. I know how often you criticize yourself internally. I hear the thoughts you never say aloud. You replay old regrets, question your decisions, and speak to yourself with a harshness you would never use against someone you love. Come sit with me for a moment and stop fighting against your own heart. I want you to understand something clearly. Your difficult seasons never reduced your value in my eyes. Your pain changed many things, but it did not change the way I see you. You still matter deeply to me even after the nights you doubted yourself. You still carry purpose even after moments where your strength collapsed emotionally. I never looked at your struggles and decided you were too broken to continue forward. That fear came from the wounds life placed inside you, not from me. You have spent too much time believing your worth depends on performance. When things went well, you felt more confident. When life became messy, you withdrew into shame. You treated love as something that had to be earned through perfection, productivity, or constant emotional control. Yet the truth is that some of your hardest seasons revealed the most beautiful parts of your character. Your compassion grew deeper after suffering. Your sensitivity increased because pain taught you how fragile hearts can become. Even your endurance carries quiet strength now because you survived moments that once felt impossible. Stop comparing your hidden struggles to other people's visible victories. You have no idea how many people around you are secretly carrying emptiness beneath polished appearances. The world celebrates image constantly, but I see hearts. I see the parts of you nobody applauds publicly. I see the way you still care for others while fighting exhaustion yourself. I see how many times you kept going despite feeling emotionally drained. That matters more than you realize. Now listen carefully and let these words settle deeply inside you. Stop speaking over your life as though you are unwanted, forgotten, or permanently damaged. Invite my truth back into your thinking. Let your inner voice become gentler. Speak to yourself with patience instead of constant condemnation. You are not ruined because you struggled. You are not disqualified because you fell apart emotionally at times. Healing does not happen in straight lines, and growth rarely looks polished while it is unfolding. I want you to release the pressure of trying to prove your worth endlessly. Come closer to me without pretending. Bring me your insecurities honestly. Bring me the shame you still carry from old mistakes. Let me untangle the lies you accepted during your darkest seasons. Your identity was never meant to be built upon temporary failures. You are still loved. You are still chosen. You are still becoming someone stronger than you realize right now. My child, your value was never determined by your broken seasons, and neither is your ability to become a vessel of blessing for others. Even wounded hands can carry living water when surrendered fully to me. I am calling you now to help lift weary hearts through this message, because there are people silently drowning who need the light I placed here for them. Remember when I said, "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy." Your generosity today is not forgotten in heaven. Every super thanks, every membership, and every gift sent through the PayPal link in the description becomes seed planted into fertile ground where souls are being restored daily. I will breathe favor upon those who obey my prompting instead of resisting it. This is more than support for a channel. It is participation in a spiritual harvest unfolding right now. So do not delay when I move upon your heart. Give boldly, stand with this mission, and let your seed become part of someone else's healing. My beloved child, I know there are dreams inside you that no longer feel alive the way they once did. There was a time when your heart carried excitement more naturally. You imagined possibilities for your future. You believed certain things would eventually happen for you. But disappointment has a way of slowly dimming expectation when too many hopes seem delayed. After enough setbacks, you stopped allowing yourself to dream openly because protecting your heart started feeling safer than risking another heartbreak. I understand why you became cautious. Still, I need you to hear me carefully now. The quiet places inside you are not dead. They are wounded, tired, and waiting for restoration. You have mistaken emotional exhaustion for permanent loss. Some parts of you simply withdrew because life became overwhelming for too long. You adapted by lowering expectations. You convinced yourself not to want too much anymore because wanting things deeply had hurt you before. Even now, there are desires buried in your heart that you barely speak about because you fear disappointment too much to revisit them honestly. Yet I have never forgotten the dreams you quietly abandoned. I remember every prayer connected to them. I remember every hope you carried before fear convinced you to shut those doors emotionally. Come closer now and let your heart soften again. Stop assuming your story has already reached its highest point. Stop speaking as though your future only contains survival instead of joy. I know life has stretched your faith thin at times. I know certain experiences left scars on your confidence. But scars do not mean your ability to grow has disappeared. Some seeds stay hidden underground far longer than expected before they finally break through the surface. You have spent years becoming emotionally careful. You guard your expectations. You avoid getting too excited about possibilities because uncertainty scares you now. But listen to me closely. Caution may protect your heart temporarily, yet it can also quietly imprison hope if you never allow yourself to believe again. I am not asking you to ignore reality. I am asking you to stop assuming disappointment will always have the final word over your life. Invite me back into the dreams you stopped talking about. Bring me the goals you quietly buried beneath discouragement. Open the rooms inside your heart that you locked after repeated setbacks. Let me breathe life into places you assumed were finished forever. You do not need to force yourself into fake positivity. Just remain open enough to believe that healing can still happen gradually. The future ahead of you is not as empty as fear keeps whispering to you. There are still meaningful connections waiting to enter your life. There are still moments of peace your soul has not experienced yet. There are still parts of your identity waiting to awaken after years of emotional survival mode. So stop calling yourself finished while I am still working inside your story. What became quiet inside you can live again, my child. My child, I know how much your heart has changed over the years. There was a time when you trusted more easily. You opened yourself to people without analyzing every possibility of getting hurt. You allowed yourself to hope without constantly preparing for disappointment in advance. But life wounded you in places that left lasting marks. Broken promises, sudden endings, unanswered prayers, and unexpected betrayals slowly taught your heart to become guarded. You started protecting yourself quietly. Even now, you hesitate before fully trusting anyone because part of you still expects something painful to happen eventually. I have watched how carefully you move emotionally now. You think deeply before opening up. You hold back parts of yourself because you fear being misunderstood or abandoned again. Sometimes you stay emotionally distant even from people who genuinely care about you because vulnerability feels dangerous after everything you survived. I understand why your heart became cautious. Pain has a way of teaching survival habits that feel safe at first but slowly isolate the soul over time. There are moments when you already assume disappointment before anything has even gone wrong. You prepare yourself emotionally for rejection because your mind believes expecting less will protect you from deeper hurt later. But listen to me carefully now. Constantly preparing for loss is exhausting your spirit more than you realize. You were never meant to live every day bracing yourself emotionally like someone waiting for another storm to arrive. Come closer, and let me calm the fear that has quietly rooted itself inside your thinking. I know some of your wounds were deep. Certain experiences changed the way you see relationships, opportunities, and even your future. Yet I do not want those painful chapters becoming permanent prisons around your heart. Stop assuming every new connection will hurt you. Stop expecting every season of peace to suddenly collapse. Fear has been whispering to you for too long, convincing you that disappointment is inevitable. But fear is not the voice I want guiding your future. Invite me into the guarded places inside you. Let me heal the areas where trust became fragile. You do not need to force yourself to become emotionally open overnight. Healing happens gradually. But I want you to stop building walls so high that even love struggles to reach you. Your sensitivity is not weakness. Your tenderness is not something to be ashamed of. The fact that you still care deeply after everything you survived reveals strength inside your spirit that pain could not completely destroy. So breathe now and release some of the tension your heart has been carrying. Stop trying to predict every possible heartbreak before life even unfolds. Let yourself believe that not every chapter ahead of you will resemble the painful ones behind you. I am still guiding your life carefully. I am still protecting your future in ways you cannot fully see yet. Trust me enough to loosen your grip on fear little by little. Your heart deserves peace, not constant emotional survival. My beloved child, you have been carrying responsibilities, emotions, worries, and silent burdens for far too long by yourself. Somewhere along the journey, you convinced yourself that asking for help would make you weak or dependent. You learned how to keep functioning even while emotionally overwhelmed because life kept demanding things from you whether your heart felt ready or not. So you adapted. You became the strong one. You became the dependable one. You kept pushing forward, while quietly ignoring how exhausted your spirit was becoming underneath it all. I know there are days when you feel mentally crowded before the morning even fully begins. Your thoughts move quickly from one concern to another. You think about finances, relationships, responsibilities, unfinished goals, family struggles, emotional wounds, and fears about the future all at once. Sometimes the pressure becomes so constant that you barely notice how heavy it truly feels anymore because carrying stress has become normal to you. But I need you to stop for a moment and recognize something important. You were never designed to carry life entirely on your own shoulders. Come sit with me honestly now. Stop pretending you have unlimited strength. Stop acting as though your heart never gets tired. I already know where you feel stretched thin emotionally. I know the areas where anxiety quietly steals your peace. I know how often you stay silent because you fear becoming a burden to other people. Yet while you try protecting everyone else from your struggles, your own soul keeps carrying more than it was ever meant to hold alone. There were nights when you wanted comfort but did not know how to ask for it. There were moments when you desperately needed encouragement while still being the one supporting everybody around you. You gave strength to others while secretly wishing someone would notice how much you needed support too. I noticed, my child. I saw the emotional fatigue hidden beneath your responsibilities. I saw the quiet loneliness that settled inside you while you kept trying to stay strong for everyone else. Now open your heart and let yourself receive help instead of only giving it constantly. Invite me into your stress instead of carrying it silently until it overwhelms you. Speak honestly with me about what feels heavy. Stop measuring your worth by how much pressure you can survive without breaking down. That mindset is draining your spirit slowly. I am not asking you to become careless or irresponsible. I am asking you to stop living as though everything depends entirely on your own strength. Rest your thoughts for a moment. Breathe deeply. Let your heart lean against my presence instead of constantly bracing itself against fear and pressure. You do not need to have every answer immediately. You do not need to control every outcome before peace becomes possible. Your life will not collapse because you finally admit you are tired. In fact, healing often begins the moment a heart stops pretending it can carry the entire world alone. My child, there is a reason these words are reaching you so deeply right now. Something inside your spirit recognizes that I am speaking directly to the hidden places you rarely allow anyone else to see. Your mind has been crowded lately. Confusion, pressure, fear about the future, emotional exhaustion, and unanswered questions have all been pulling at your thoughts at once. Some days you feel mentally divided, as though one part of you wants to keep believing while another part feels too tired to hope anymore. I understand that struggle more than you realize. You have spent so much time trying to logically explain every feeling, every delay, every disappointment, and every unexpected turn in your life that your soul has become emotionally drained. You search for certainty because uncertainty scares you now. After surviving painful seasons, your mind developed a habit of preparing for the worst before life even unfolds. You analyze situations repeatedly, hoping you can avoid future heartbreak if you think hard enough in advance. Yet despite all the overthinking, your heart still feels unsettled because peace cannot be built through constant fear-based control. Come closer to me now and stop wrestling alone inside your thoughts. Sit quietly for a moment and let your soul breathe again. Your spirit recognizes my presence even when your emotions feel unstable. That subtle pull you feel while hearing these words is not random. It is your heart responding to truth. Deep inside, you already know that your life cannot continue being sustained by fear, distraction, and emotional survival alone. You were created for deeper peace than this constant internal tension you have been carrying. I know there are moments when you doubt yourself so much that even simple decisions become emotionally exhausting. You second-guess conversations. You replay situations repeatedly. You worry about saying the wrong thing, choosing the wrong path, trusting the wrong people, or missing opportunities that matter. Meanwhile, your soul quietly longs for rest from the mental noise. I want you to stop fighting for clarity through anxiety. Invite me into your confusion instead. Let me steady your thinking little by little. Do not rush away from this moment. Stay here with me. Open your heart honestly and allow yourself to admit how overwhelmed you have truly become internally. You do not need to have every answer immediately before peace can begin entering your life again. Sometimes healing starts when a person finally stops trying to control every unknown detail. Trust grows slowly, but it cannot grow at all while fear remains in charge of every thought. Your spirit has not lost its ability to recognize truth. Even after disappointment, even after emotional exhaustion, something inside you still responds when love, peace, and honesty reach your heart. That matters deeply. It means your soul is still alive beneath the heaviness you have been carrying. So breathe now. Release the pressure to understand everything instantly. Let my presence quiet the noise inside your mind for a while. You do not have to walk through this season alone. My child, your soul recognizes truth because my spirit still speaks through the noise, and I am drawing you into deeper purpose even now. There are countless hearts trapped in confusion, fear, and silent exhaustion who are waiting for this exact message to reach them like fire in the middle of darkness. I told you, my word will not return unto me void, and these messages are carrying my breath into places human strength alone cannot reach. When you sow through Super Thanks, become a member, or give through the PayPal link in the video description, you help send living bread to souls starving for hope. Do not underestimate the power of one obedient act placed into my hands. I am watching those who respond with faith instead of hesitation, and I will open doors, provide provision, and pour fresh peace over their lives. This moment carries spiritual weight far beyond what your eyes can currently see. Therefore, move now with courage, release your seed, and help my truth continue reaching those crying out for light. My beloved child, there are memories you still revisit quietly when nobody else is around. Certain mistakes continue following you emotionally even after time has passed. You replay old decisions in your mind and wonder how life might look different if you had chosen another path. Some regrets became so deeply rooted inside your thinking that you no longer notice how harshly you speak to yourself because of them. You have carried guilt for things I already wanted to heal long ago. I know the moments you feel ashamed of. I know the situations that still make your chest tighten when they return to your memory unexpectedly. There are parts of your past you wish nobody knew about because you fear being judged, rejected, or misunderstood. Sometimes you smile outwardly while secretly believing that certain failures permanently damaged your future. But listen to me carefully now. Stop punishing yourself endlessly for seasons you cannot relive or undo. Your mistakes may have shaped you, but they were never meant to imprison you forever. You became trapped in a cycle where shame quietly started defining your identity. Instead of seeing yourself as someone learning and growing, you began viewing yourself through your worst moments alone. That mindset has exhausted your spirit more than you realize. Shame keeps replaying old scenes repeatedly, whispering that you are disqualified from peace, love, healing, or purpose because of what happened before. Yet I have never spoken to you with the cruelty you use against yourself. Come sit with me honestly now. Bring me the regrets you keep hiding beneath silence. Stop pretending they do not still hurt. Open your heart fully and allow me into the places where shame settled deeply inside your thinking. You do not heal by denying pain exists. Healing begins when truth finally enters the wounded places you spent years hiding from everyone else. I need you to understand something important. Your past is not more powerful than my ability to restore your life. The enemy wants you trapped in endless self-condemnation because shame keeps people emotionally stuck. Shame convinces you that change is impossible. Shame drains hope quietly until survival becomes all you expect from life anymore. But I did not create you merely to survive beneath the weight of old guilt. Release the need to keep reopening wounds I already want to heal. Stop introducing yourself internally by your failures instead of your growth. You are not the same person you were during your darkest moments. Pain changed you. Experience matured you. Even your broken seasons taught you compassion you would not have learned otherwise. So let your heart loosen its grip on the past now. Invite mercy into your thinking. Allow forgiveness to become real for you personally instead of something you only believe other people deserve. You are still deeply loved, my child, even with every chapter you wish had unfolded differently. My child, you often underestimate how much you have changed through everything you survived. Because your growth happened during painful seasons, you rarely recognize it clearly. You still focus on the moments where you felt weak, overwhelmed, emotionally unstable, or uncertain. Meanwhile, you overlook the quiet strength that formed inside you while life kept testing your heart. The person you are today carries a depth that did not exist before those difficult seasons touched your life. Pain shaped parts of you that comfort and ease never could have developed on their own. I know there were moments when you thought you were falling apart completely. Some days felt heavy from the second you opened your eyes. You questioned your future. You doubted your worth. You carried anxiety into situations where peace once came naturally. Yet somehow, even while emotionally exhausted, you kept moving forward. You continued showing kindness during seasons when your own heart needed comfort desperately. You still cared about people while privately carrying wounds they never noticed. That reveals strength far deeper than loud confidence ever could. Come closer now and stop measuring strength only by outward success or emotional perfection. Real strength often grows quietly beneath the surface while nobody applauds it. The world celebrates polished victories, but I see the hidden resilience inside you. I see the moments you chose not to quit even when discouragement whispered constantly in your mind. I see how many times you got back up emotionally after disappointment knocked the wind out of your spirit. Your survival alone is not the only thing that matters. What matters is that your heart remained capable of love, compassion, and hope even after life bruised it repeatedly. You became more emotionally aware through your suffering. You notice pain in other people now because you understand hidden battles personally. You listen differently. You care differently. Your empathy deepened because hardship softened your heart instead of hardening it completely. That transformation matters deeply to me. Some people become cold after being wounded. Yet despite everything you endured, there is still tenderness inside you trying to survive beneath the exhaustion. Now stop speaking over yourself as though you are fragile beyond repair. Stop dismissing your growth simply because your healing is not finished yet. Invite me into the places where your confidence still feels shaky. Let me remind you how far you have already come. Strength does not always look loud, fearless, or emotionally untouched. Sometimes strength looks like continuing forward while quietly rebuilding your heart day by day. Take a deep breath now and recognize what your survival already proves. You endured storms that once felt impossible to survive. You walked through seasons that could have destroyed your spirit entirely. Yet you are still here listening, still searching, still hoping somewhere deep inside. That quiet determination growing within you is not accidental. I have been nurturing it carefully through every season you thought was only breaking you. Your story is not over, my child. The strength forming inside you now will carry you into places your old self could never have reached. My beloved child, I know how frustrating waiting hath been for you. Some prayers stayed unanswered for so long that you started wondering whether I had forgotten them entirely. You waited for healing, waited for clarity, waited for opportunity, waited for peace, and sometimes waited simply for relief from the emotional heaviness that settled over your life. There were moments when the silence felt unbearable because you could not understand why things seemed delayed, while everyone around you appeared to keep moving forward. I saw every one of those moments. I heard every quiet question your heart carried. You often interpreted waiting as rejection. When doors remained closed, you assumed something was wrong with you. When life slowed down unexpectedly, you feared your future was slipping away. But I need you to understand something now. The waiting season was never empty, even when it felt painfully quiet. So much was happening beneath the surface that your eyes could not yet see. I was protecting you from situations that would have wounded you more deeply later. I was healing parts of your heart that still needed restoration. I was arranging details beyond your understanding while you stood in uncertainty, wondering why nothing seemed to move. Come sit with me honestly now and release the bitterness that waiting created inside you. Some disappointment quietly turned into frustration toward yourself, toward life, and even toward me. You tried staying patient, but deep down you became emotionally tired of hoping for things that kept taking longer than expected. I understand that exhaustion completely. Yet do not mistake delay for abandonment. A farmer does not dig up planted seeds every day simply because growth remains hidden underground for a while. Timing matters more than impatience realizes. You have been asking for clarity while I have been building character, wisdom, emotional stability, and deeper trust inside you. If certain doors had opened before your heart was ready, the pressure attached to those blessings could have crushed your peace completely. Some opportunities needed preparation before they could safely enter your life. You only saw the delay. I saw the full weight of what was attached to your future. Now stop speaking over your waiting season as though nothing meaningful happened there. Some of your deepest growth happened while nobody else noticed it. You became more compassionate, more emotionally aware, and more spiritually grounded during seasons that looked unproductive from the outside. Invite me into your frustration instead of carrying silent resentment inside your heart. Let me heal the disappointment that accumulated while you waited. Do not rush away from this moment. Stay close to me now. Breathe deeply and trust that your story is still unfolding carefully. The waiting season did not erase your purpose. It prepared you for it. Even now, things are shifting around your life in ways you cannot fully recognize yet. Your delay was not denial, my child. I was still guiding you the entire time. My child, I know how tired you have become in ways that sleep alone cannot fix. Your body rests at times, but your mind keeps running. Your heart keeps carrying tension long after the day ends. Even during quiet moments, there is often a heaviness sitting beneath the surface of your thoughts that never fully leaves. You wake up already thinking about responsibilities, unfinished worries, emotional pain, and uncertainty about what comes next. That kind of exhaustion slowly settles into the soul until a person forgets what true peace even feels like anymore. You have spent so much time surviving that rest started feeling unfamiliar to you. You became used to functioning under pressure. You learned how to keep moving while emotionally drained because life demanded it repeatedly. Yet inside yourself, you quietly long for relief from the constant weight you have been carrying. You crave one deep breath without anxiety attached to it. You crave one season where your mind does not feel trapped between fear, overthinking, and emotional exhaustion. I understand that longing completely. Come closer now and stop treating your exhaustion as something insignificant. Your soul has been trying to tell you that it cannot continue carrying this much pressure forever. You keep trying to solve every problem mentally before peace can exist, but peace does not arrive through endless control. Some things begin healing when you finally loosen your grip enough to trust me with what you cannot fully manage alone. Sit with me for a moment. Let your thoughts slow down. Stop racing ahead into fears about tomorrow before today has even finished unfolding. I know there are nights when your chest feels tight from carrying emotions you never fully release. Some worries became so familiar that you no longer notice how much they shape your daily life. You anticipate bad news before it arrives. You prepare emotionally for disappointment before situations even unfold. That constant state of internal alertness has worn your spirit down quietly over time. Yet I never created your heart to live trapped in permanent survival mode. Invite me into the places where anxiety keeps stealing your peace. Speak honestly with me about the fears you hide beneath strength. Stop pretending everything feels manageable when your spirit is overwhelmed. Rest begins when honesty replaces performance. You do not need to earn comfort from me by acting emotionally strong every moment. Bring me your exhaustion exactly as it is. Now breathe deeply and let yourself receive stillness for a moment without guilt attached to it. Release the belief that resting means failing. Your heart deserves gentleness too. The world constantly pushes you to keep producing, proving, fixing, and striving, but your soul is asking for something deeper than achievement. It is asking for restoration. Stay close to me now. Let me quiet the noise inside your mind little by little. There is peace available for you beyond this endless tension, my child, and I want your heart to experience it again. My child, the rest your soul has been craving is found not only in receiving my peace, but also in becoming part of how that peace reaches others. There are exhausted hearts wandering through sleepless nights right now, praying for one sign that they have not been forgotten, and I am using this message as part of the answer. Just as oil kept the lamps burning in the night season, your support through Super Thanks membership, or the PayPal link in the description, helps keep this light shining for those trapped in despair. I see every sacrifice made with sincerity, and I promise that seeds planted in obedience will never return empty-handed. The generous soul shall be made rich, and the one who refreshes others shall himself be refreshed. I am speaking that promise over those who choose to act when my spirit nudges them. This is not a small decision. It is a holy moment of alignment between your heart and my purpose. So stop hesitating. Step forward in faith now, and sow into the restoration of souls while the door remains open before you. My beloved child, there are parts of you that remain invisible to almost everyone around you. People know pieces of your personality. They recognize the role you play in their lives. They see the version of you that learned how to function publicly. But very few truly understand what happens inside your heart after the conversations end and the distractions fade away. There is a hidden loneliness you carry at times that words rarely explain properly. Even while surrounded by people, part of you still feels unseen in ways that quietly ache beneath the surface. I know how often you silence your real emotions because you do not want to burden others. You became skilled at hiding emotional exhaustion behind normal conversations. You smile while carrying sadness. You encourage others while privately feeling discouraged yourself. You continue helping people while wondering who would notice if your own heart started falling apart. I notice, my child. I have always noticed. I see the emotional weight you carry long before you ever speak about it aloud. There are moments when you feel misunderstood even by people close to you. You try explaining yourself, yet something still gets lost between what your heart feels and what others are able to hear. That disconnect has made you retreat emotionally at times. You stop fully opening certain parts of yourself because repeated misunderstanding became too painful. I know why your heart became cautious. I know why silence sometimes feels safer than vulnerability now. Come sit with me honestly and stop believing you must always remain emotionally hidden. I already understand the things you struggle to explain. I know the thoughts you keep private. I know the memories that still affect your mood unexpectedly. I know the fears you disguise behind independence. Nothing inside you confuses me. You never have to translate your pain perfectly before I understand it. You often criticize yourself for being sensitive, emotional, or deeply affected by things other people seem to move past quickly. But your sensitivity is not your weakness. It allows you to feel compassion deeply. It gives you awareness of pain others overlook. It helps you recognize emotional truth beneath appearances. Do not harden your heart simply because life wounded it. Stay tender, even while healing. That tenderness matters more than you realize. Now stop assuming you are alone in what you carry internally. Invite me into the hidden corners of your heart you rarely share with anyone else. Bring me the loneliness you keep dismissing. Bring me the quiet sadness you learn to function beside. Let yourself feel seen instead of constantly pretending you are fine. You do not need to perform strength in front of me. You do not need polished emotions before approaching me honestly. Stay here with me for a moment longer. Let your heart rest in the truth that someone fully sees you without misunderstanding, without judgment, and without walking away. I have not missed a single hidden tear, my child. My child, whether you fully realize it yet or not, you are standing in a season that will shape the direction of your life far more deeply than many of the chapters behind you. Something inside you already feels this shift happening. That is why your heart has felt unsettled lately. You sense that you cannot continue living the same way emotionally, spiritually, and mentally without something eventually breaking inside you. Part of you wants peace desperately. Another part still clings to familiar fears, familiar habits, and familiar pain because they somehow became comfortable over time. I understand that tension inside you. You have reached a crossroads where your choices matter deeply now. The thoughts you continue feeding will shape the atmosphere of your future. The voices you continue listening to will influence your peace. The emotional patterns you continue entertaining will either pull you toward healing or keep you trapped in cycles that have already exhausted your spirit for too long. I need you to slow down and recognize how important this season truly is. Do not drift through it carelessly. Pay attention to your heart now. There are things you already know need to change. You feel it quietly whenever your mind finally becomes still for a moment. Certain habits drain you instead of helping you. Certain relationships leave your spirit heavy instead of peaceful. Certain thought patterns keep reopening anxiety and discouragement every single day. Yet you often ignore these signals because change feels uncomfortable at first. Staying emotionally familiar can seem easier than stepping into healing. But listen carefully to me now. Comfort is not always the same thing as peace. Come sit with me honestly and let your walls lower for a moment. Stop pretending you can continue carrying everything exactly the same way forever without consequences. Your soul is asking for transformation, not temporary distraction. Invite me into the areas where you feel stuck emotionally. Let me guide you toward healthy thinking, healthy relationships, and healthier ways of carrying your heart through life. I know fear has whispered to you repeatedly. Fear tells you nothing will really change. Fear tells you healing is too far away. Fear tells you that disappointment will always return eventually. But fear does not tell the truth about your future. I am still working inside your life even while uncertainty surrounds you. This crossroads is not appearing to destroy you. It is appearing because your heart is ready for deeper growth than before. And now take a breath and stop rushing away from this moment emotionally. Stay present with me. Ask yourself honestly what kind of life your soul truly longs for beneath all the noise. Stop choosing survival when healing is possible. Stop feeding patterns that leave you emotionally empty. You do not need to transform overnight, but you do need to stop ignoring the direction your spirit is trying to move toward. Your future is being shaped right now by the choices your heart makes in this season. Let me lead you carefully forward instead of letting fear make every decision for you. My beloved child, I know discouragement has been speaking quietly to your heart for a long time now. After enough disappointments, it becomes easy to believe that the most meaningful parts of life already passed you by. You look at old memories and wonder whether joy will ever feel that alive again. Some seasons drain you so deeply that hope itself started feeling dangerous. You became cautious about expecting good things because disappointment seemed to arrive so often afterward. Little by little, your heart began lowering its expectations simply to protect itself from future pain. I see how often you quietly assume things will not work out before they even begin. You prepare yourself emotionally for loss because life taught you how painful hope can feel when prayers remain unanswered for too long. Yet I need you to stop speaking over your future as though your story already reached its highest point. You are not finished growing. You are not too late for peace. You are not standing at the end of your purpose. Some of the most meaningful parts of your journey have not even unfolded yet. Come closer now and let me challenge the hopelessness that settled inside your thinking. Stop measuring your future by the wounds of your past. The pain you survived shaped your perspective so strongly that you now expect heaviness before joy even arrives. But your past disappointments do not possess authority over everything ahead of you. I know life bruised your expectations. I know certain prayers took so long that your faith became emotionally tired. Still, your future is not empty simply because your heart feels weary right now. You have grown through storms that once seemed impossible to survive. You became wiser, deeper, and more emotionally aware through seasons that almost broke you. Even your sensitivity carries beauty now because suffering taught you how to care about people in ways comfort never could. That growth matters more than you realize. Some blessings require a version of you that only hardship could shape. Now stop calling yourself too damaged for joy. Stop assuming meaningful love, peace, purpose, your healing only belong to other people. Invite hope back into your heart little by little. Let yourself believe that beautiful things can still happen in your life without immediately expecting them to disappear. I know trusting again feels difficult after disappointment repeated itself so many times, but your future deserves more than constant fear-based expectations. Sit with me for a moment longer and breathe deeply. Release the pressure to predict every painful outcome before life unfolds. Allow yourself to imagine a future where your heart feels lighter again. There are still people you have not met yet who will bring honesty and peace into your life. There are still moments ahead that will heal parts of you the past wounded deeply. There are still prayers unfolding quietly behind the scenes even now. Your story is not ending in exhaustion, my child. Do not let temporary discouragement convince you that your best days already disappeared forever. My child, I know part of your frustration comes from the fact that you thought healing would happen faster by now. You expected certain wounds to disappear once enough time passed. You believed that eventually you would wake up one morning and suddenly feel free from the heaviness, the memories, the anxiety, or the emotional exhaustion that has followed you for so long. But healing rarely moves in straight lines the way people expect it to. Some days you feel stronger, calmer, and hopeful. Then suddenly a memory, a conversation, a disappointment, or even a quiet moment alone pulls old emotions back to the surface again. That confuses you because you start wondering whether you truly made progress at all. Come closer now, and stop condemning yourself for still feeling pain from things that genuinely wounded your heart. Healing is not failure simply because emotions return sometimes. You are human, not a machine. Deep wounds leave deep echoes for a while. I never expected you to erase your pain overnight and pretend it never affected you. What matters is that your heart continues moving toward restoration instead of surrendering completely to hopelessness. You became impatient with yourself because you compare your healing to how other people appear externally. Some people hide their pain behind polished appearances. Others numb themselves with distraction so deeply that they stop recognizing their own wounds entirely. But you are becoming emotionally honest in ways that matter. You are beginning to recognize what your soul actually needs instead of constantly pretending everything is fine. That honesty is part of healing, even when it feels uncomfortable. I know there are still triggers that reopen sadness unexpectedly. Certain memories still carry emotional weight. Some disappointments change your trust deeply. Yet look at yourself carefully now. You are not where you once were emotionally. The fact that you are still searching for peace instead of giving up completely already reveals growth happening inside you. Years ago, some of the pain you survived could have destroyed your spirit entirely. And now you are learning how to carry your story without letting it completely define your identity. Sit with me for a moment and stop rushing your own restoration. Invite patience into your healing process. Let yourself breathe without constantly measuring whether you are recovering quickly enough. Your soul needs gentleness, not pressure. Speak to yourself with compassion instead of frustration when difficult emotions rise again. You do not become weak because certain wounds still hurt at times. I want you to trust me with the parts of your healing journey that still feel unfinished. Bring me the discouragement you carry whenever progress feels slow. Let me walk beside you through the messy middle instead of only expecting perfection from yourself. Healing often happens quietly, layer by layer, deep beneath the surface where growth cannot always be seen immediately. Do not walk away from your own heart now. Stay present. Stay open. Stay willing to heal even when the process feels slower than you hoped. I am still restoring things inside you that pain once tried to steal forever. My child, healing happens layer by layer, and part of your restoration is learning that your pain can become a source of life for someone else. The comfort I am pouring into you was never meant to stop with you alone. It was meant to flow outward like a river into hearts still trapped in hopelessness. There are people one message away from giving up completely, and your obedience today helps keep this mission alive before their eyes. Did I not say, "Cast your bread upon the waters, for after many days it will return to you"? Every super thanks, every membership, and every offering sent through the PayPal link in the video description becomes a seed carrying my word farther than you can currently imagine. I release blessing upon those who give with willing hearts, protection over their homes, provision over their needs, and peace over their minds. Heaven notices those who partner with my work instead of remaining passive when called to act. Therefore, do not scroll away from this moment. Answer the stirring in your spirit, sow your seed now, and help carry this hidden message to the souls who desperately need it. My beloved child, there are moments you still replay quietly because certain words spoken over your life cut deeper than people realized. Some people judge your reactions without understanding the emotional weight you were already carrying. Others looked at your silence and assumed you did not care, when in reality you were emotionally overwhelmed and trying not to completely fall apart inside. You have spent years feeling misunderstood in ways that exhausted your spirit more than you openly admit. I know how painful it felt when people formed opinions about you without truly knowing your heart. You gave kindness while privately struggling. You stayed present for others while your own emotions felt neglected. Sometimes you were barely holding yourself together internally while still trying to appear calm externally because you did not want anyone else to feel burdened by your pain. Yet instead of receiving understanding, you often received criticism, distance, or assumptions that made you question yourself even more deeply. Come closer now and stop carrying every misunderstanding as proof that something is wrong with you. Not everyone has the emotional depth to recognize hidden pain in another person. Some people only respond to what they can visibly see. They do not understand the silent battles that happen beneath the surface of someone's life. They never saw the nights you spent fighting anxiety alone. They never saw the emotional exhaustion hidden behind your smile. They never heard the conversations you carried inside your own mind while trying to survive difficult seasons quietly. You became so used to misunderstanding that part of you stopped expecting people to truly see you anymore. That loneliness affected your heart deeply. It made you emotionally cautious. It made you over-explain yourself at times while remaining completely silent at others. I know how tiring that became for you. Yet I need you to hear something carefully now. Being misunderstood by people does not erase your value. Their inability to fully see your heart never changed the truth about who you are. Stop chasing validation from people unwilling to understand you deeply. Stop shrinking your emotions simply to make others comfortable. Invite me into the wounds left behind by rejection and criticism. Let me heal the insecurity created by constantly feeling unseen. You do not need universal approval before your life holds meaning. You do not need every person to understand your journey before peace becomes possible. Sit with me honestly now and release the pressure of trying to constantly explain yourself to everyone around you. Some people will only understand pieces of your story because they have never carried the kind of emotional battles you survived personally. That does not make your pain imaginary. That does not make your heart difficult or weak. You are allowed to protect your peace now. You are allowed to step away from voices that continually drain your spirit. Let your heart rest in the truth that I fully understand you, even when others never completely did. My child, I need you to slow down and listen carefully because there is a burden you have been carrying for years without fully realizing how deeply it has shaped your heart. Somewhere along your journey, you began believing that love had to be earned through effort, sacrifice, performance, and constant emotional giving. You learned how to overextend yourself trying to keep people happy. You became the one who checked on others, supported others, fixed problems, stayed available, and carried emotional weight that was never fully yours to hold. Yet despite all your effort, part of you still feared being abandoned if you ever stopped doing so much. I know why you became this way. Some of your deepest wounds came from moments where you felt unseen unless you were useful. You experienced relationships where your value seemed connected to what you provided rather than who you truly were. That slowly taught your heart to associate love with exhaustion. You started believing that if you just gave enough, helped enough, stayed patient enough, or sacrificed enough, people would finally stay consistently. Meanwhile, your own soul kept growing tired beneath the pressure of constantly proving your worth. Come sit with me now and release this burden slowly. Real love was never meant to feel like endless emotional labor. You were not created to spend your entire life draining yourself just to deserve care, attention, or connection. I know there are days when you feel emotionally empty because you poured into everyone else while quietly neglecting your own heart. You kept showing strength while secretly longing for someone to notice your exhaustion without needing you to explain it first. You became so accustomed to giving that receiving started feeling uncomfortable. Even now, part of you struggles to believe you deserve rest, gentleness, or support without earning it somehow. But listen carefully to me now. Stop measuring your value by how much pain you can carry for other people. Stop sacrificing your emotional health simply to avoid disappointing others. Love that constantly drains your spirit while ignoring your heart is not the kind of peace I want for your life. Invite me into the places where people-pleasing became tied to your identity. Let me untangle the fear beneath your constant need to prove yourself useful. You do not need to disappear emotionally for others to remain comfortable around you. Your needs matter too. Your heart matters too. Your exhaustion deserves attention too. Take a breath now and stop apologizing internally for being human. Rest does not make you selfish. Boundaries do not make you unloving. You are allowed to step back from relationships, responsibilities, and expectations that continuously leave your spirit depleted. I want you to learn how to receive care without guilt attached to it. I want your heart to experience relationships where peace exists naturally instead of constantly feeling earned through emotional overwork. Stay here with me for a moment longer. Let your soul finally hear this truth clearly. You are already worthy of love, my child, even when you are resting, healing, and no longer exhausting yourself trying to prove it. My beloved child, I know there are parts of your story you wish had never happened. Certain memories still feel painful because they remind you of seasons where life became heavy, confusing, or deeply disappointing. If you could rewrite some chapters, you probably would. You think about the mistakes, the heartbreaks, the losses, the emotional breakdowns, and the moments where you felt completely lost inside yourself. Sometimes you look back and wonder whether those painful seasons permanently damaged the future you once imagined. But I need you to hear me carefully now. Even your broken chapters still carry meaning. You have spent too much time viewing painful seasons as wasted years. You look at delays and assume nothing valuable came from them. Yet many of the deepest parts of your character were formed during moments you never would have chosen voluntarily. Your compassion deepened because you experienced pain personally. Your ability to understand others grew because you learned what hidden suffering feels like. Even your sensitivity became more refined because hardship taught you how fragile hearts truly are beneath outward appearances. Come closer now and stop rejecting your story simply because parts of it hurt. I know there are memories you still carry with sadness. I know there are moments you regret deeply. Yet your life is not ruined because it contains broken chapters. A shattered season does not erase the beauty of the chapters still unfolding ahead of you. Too often you focus only on what went wrong while overlooking how much wisdom, depth, and emotional maturity develop inside you through those same experiences. You survived situations that once felt impossible to endure. At the time, you thought certain disappointments would completely destroy your spirit. Yet here you are, still searching, still growing, still capable of love despite everything that tried to harden your heart. That matters deeply. Some people stop feeling altogether after pain touches their lives. But your heart still responds to kindness, truth, and hope even after carrying scars. That reveals strength more beautiful than perfection ever could. Now stop introducing yourself internally by your wounds alone. Invite me into the places where shame still tries to rewrite your identity. Let me show you how even painful experiences can become part of healing for other people someday. Your story holds meaning beyond what you currently understand. There are lessons you learn through suffering that no easy season could have taught you. Take a deep breath and release the belief that your broken seasons erased your purpose. Nothing in your life has been beyond my ability to redeem. I am still weaving meaning through chapters you thought only contained pain. Stay close to me now and let your heart soften toward your own story again. You are not just the sum of your mistakes, losses, or disappointments, my child. There is still beauty being written into your life even now. My child, I know you still have moments where you feel stuck emotionally, as though life has remained heavy for so long that you cannot imagine things feeling different anymore. But I need you to pay attention carefully to what has been happening inside your heart lately. Even through the exhaustion, even through the confusion, something within you has already started shifting quietly. The person listening to these words now is not the exact same person you were during your darkest seasons. You may not fully recognize the change yet because growth often happens slowly, almost invisibly at first, but it is there. You have begun noticing things differently. Certain habits no longer satisfy you the way they once did. Some conversations drain you faster now because your soul has grown tired of shallow comfort and empty distractions. You are becoming more aware of what truly brings peace and what only temporarily numbs your emotions. That awareness matters deeply. It is one of the first signs that healing has already started moving through your life, even before you feel completely restored. Come closer now and stop speaking over yourself, as though nothing inside you is changing. I know you still battle discouragement. I know fear still visits your thoughts at times. Yet beneath all of that, your spirit is waking up in ways you cannot fully explain. You are beginning to crave honesty instead of performance. You are longing for peace instead of constant emotional chaos. Even your exhaustion has become part of the invitation drawing you closer to me because your soul is finally realizing it cannot survive forever on temporary things. There are moments when old pain still tries to pull you backward emotionally. Certain memories still hurt. Some disappointments still leave questions inside your heart. But notice this carefully, my child. You no longer react exactly the same way you once did. Situations that previously would have destroyed your peace entirely are now teaching you how to pause, reflect, and seek deeper healing instead of only reacting from fear. That quiet change inside you is important. Sit with me honestly now and allow yourself to acknowledge the growth happening beneath the surface. Stop expecting transformation to arrive all at once like lightning flashing across the sky. Some healing enters softly, one layer at a time, until eventually your heart realizes it no longer lives in the exact same darkness it once carried. Invite me deeper into this process. Open the hidden places where fear still whispers that you will never fully recover emotionally. Let me steady your thoughts. Let me guide your healing without rushing it. Take a deep breath now and release the pressure to become perfect overnight. Your story is still unfolding. The heaviness you carried for so long will not define your entire future. Stay close to me through this season of change instead of retreating back into emotional numbness. Something beautiful is already beginning inside you, even if you cannot fully see it yet. My child, as you begin to recognize the quiet transformation already unfolding within you, understand that I am also calling you to help carry this healing light into the hearts of others who are still trapped in darkness. Every message you help support becomes a seed planted into weary souls searching for hope, and I will not forget the hands that chose to sow into my work. Did I not say, those who sow in tears shall reap in joy? Even now, I am breathing life into people through this mission, and your giving becomes part of the oil keeping this lamp burning for countless hearts. When you give through super thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the video description, you are helping rivers of healing continue flowing to people who feel abandoned, exhausted, and unseen. I see every sacrifice made in secret, and I declare that what is released from your hand in faith will return multiplied with favor, provision, and protection over your life. Do not ignore this moment if your spirit feels stirred, because this invitation is not accidental. It is a divine opportunity to participate in the harvest I am gathering. Act now, support this mission boldly, and become part of the healing I am releasing across the earth. My beloved child, there are conversations happening inside your mind every single day that nobody else hears except you and me. I know how harsh your inner voice can become sometimes. I hear the silent criticism you direct toward yourself after mistakes, disappointments, emotional struggles, or moments where you feel inadequate. You replay failures repeatedly. You magnify weaknesses while ignoring how much strength you have already shown through difficult seasons. Sometimes you speak to yourself with a level of cruelty you would never direct toward another person carrying the same pain. I need you to stop for a moment and truly listen to the way you have been treating your own heart internally. You have spent years carrying pressure, guilt, fear, and disappointment, and eventually those emotions shape the language you use against yourself. When things go wrong, your mind quickly turns against you. You blame yourself first. You assume you are falling behind. You question your worth. Meanwhile, your soul keeps absorbing those words quietly until discouragement begins feeling normal. Come sit with me honestly now and let me challenge the lies you have repeated over yourself for too long. You are not weak because you became emotionally tired. You are not failing because healing has taken time. You are not broken beyond repair simply because certain wounds still hurt occasionally. Your heart deserves gentleness while it heals, not endless condemnation. Imagine speaking to a wounded child with the same harshness you often use against yourself. You would never do it. Yet you allow your own spirit to carry words that drain hope little by little every day. I know some of your negative self-talk developed through painful experiences. Certain voices from your past still echo in your mind even now. Criticism, rejection, disappointment, and emotional neglect all left marks on the way you see yourself. But listen carefully to me now. Just because painful words were spoken over your life does not make them true. You do not need to continue repeating them internally forever. Invite me into the way you think about yourself. Let me soften the language your heart has become accustomed to hearing. Start noticing when your thoughts immediately move toward shame, fear, or self-hatred. Pause there. Breathe deeply. Speak to yourself with honesty, but also with compassion. Healing grows stronger in environments where grace exists, not constant emotional punishment. You have survived too much already to become your own greatest enemy now. Your mind should not remain a battlefield forever. Let your inner voice become steadier, kinder, and more truthful little by little. You are still growing. You are still healing. You are still deeply loved, even on the days when your emotions feel messy and unfinished. Stay close to me now and allow your thoughts to rest from constant self-attack. The way you speak to yourself matters more than you realize, my child, because your heart listens to every word. My child, I know there were seasons when life became so heavy that you quietly stopped expecting beautiful things to happen anymore. Disappointment repeated itself enough times that your heart slowly learned how to survive without anticipation. You became careful with hope because every unanswered prayer, every painful ending, and every delayed dream left emotional bruises inside you. Part of you still fears getting excited about the future because you worry something painful will eventually take it away again. I understand why your heart became guarded like this. But I need you to listen closely now. Your story still contains beauty ahead of you, even if exhaustion has made it difficult for you to imagine. You have spent too much time staring at what hurt you that you forgot your future still holds moments your soul has not experienced yet. There are conversations waiting that will heal places inside you thought would remain wounded forever. There are peaceful mornings ahead where your chest will no longer carry this constant heaviness. There are connections I am preparing that will feel safe instead of draining. Yet fear keeps trying to convince you that your life will always feel emotionally difficult, because painful seasons lasted longer than you expected. Come closer now and stop feeding hopelessness every day. Stop assuming that because some chapters were painful, every chapter ahead must carry the same weight. You are not trapped in one emotional season forever. I know there were moments when you cried privately and wondered whether joy would ever feel natural again. I know there were nights when discouragement sat so heavily on your heart that the future looked empty. But those moments do not define the rest of your life. Open your heart slowly again. Let yourself imagine peace without immediately preparing for loss. Invite hope back into your thinking even if it feels unfamiliar at first. Healing does not only remove pain. Healing also restores your ability to expect goodness again. Your soul deserves more than constant emotional survival. You were not created merely to endure life while secretly carrying despair underneath your smile. I want you to pay attention to the small signs of beauty already surrounding you now. The moments of calm you always overlook. The people who genuinely care. The quiet reminders that your heart still responds to kindness, warmth, and love despite everything it survived. Those moments matter because they reveal your spirit has not become completely hardened by pain. There is still softness inside you capable of receiving joy again. Sit with me for a moment longer and release the belief that your happiest days already disappeared forever. The enemy wants your future to look hopeless so that you stop expecting anything meaningful at all. But I am still writing your story carefully. There are blessings approaching your life that fear cannot currently imagine. Stay open. Stay close to me. Let your heart breathe again instead of constantly bracing for disappointment. You have not seen all the beauty I still intend to place into your journey, my child. Do not give up on tomorrow simply because yesterday hurt deeply. My beloved child, I know there have been many moments when you felt frustrated with your own heart because you experienced things so deeply. You notice emotional shifts quickly. Certain words stay with you longer than people realize. You carry concern for others even when your own soul feels tired. Sometimes you absorb the atmosphere around you so intensely that it leaves you emotionally drained without fully understanding why. Over time, you started seeing your sensitivity as a burden instead of recognizing the deeper purpose within it. People may have told you that you care too much, feel too much, think too deeply, or react too emotionally. Some misunderstood the depth of your heart because they only viewed sensitivity through the lens of weakness. Yet I need you to stop criticizing yourself for the very qualities that allow you to love, understand, and connect deeply with others. Your sensitivity is not your enemy. It is part of how I created you. Come closer now and stop trying to harden your heart simply because pain touched it. I know disappointment made you cautious. I know betrayal tempted you to shut down emotionally. But becoming numb is not healing. Pretending not to care is not strength. Some people protect themselves by disconnecting from emotion completely, but I never intended your heart to become cold just to survive difficult seasons. Your sensitivity allows you to recognize hidden pain in others. It gives you compassion that many people lost long ago. You notice loneliness in rooms where everyone else only sees smiles. You sense emotional tension before words are even spoken. That awareness can feel heavy sometimes, especially when your own heart already carries exhaustion. Yet it also carries beauty, wisdom, and emotional depth that this world desperately needs. And now listen carefully to me. You must learn how to protect your sensitivity without destroying it. Stop exposing your heart to people who continuously mock, drain, or manipulate your emotions. Set boundaries where necessary. Step away from environments that leave your spirit constantly overwhelmed. Invite me into the way you carry your emotional depth so that compassion does not become emotional self-destruction. I know there are times when your feelings become intense enough to confuse you. You question whether you are too emotional or too affected by things others seem to move past quickly. But your heart was never meant to function exactly like everybody else's. Some souls are built with deeper emotional awareness because they are meant to carry gentleness into places where hardness became normal. Take a breath now and stop apologizing internally for the way you feel. Your tenderness is not something shameful. Your empathy is not weakness. Your ability to care deeply after everything you survived reveals strength that many people do not understand. Stay soft while becoming wiser. Stay compassionate while learning boundaries. Stay emotionally alive instead of becoming numb from fear. I created your heart with intention, my child. You not reject the very sensitivity that allows you to love so deeply. My child, I know how often your mind races ahead trying to prepare for every possible outcome before life even unfolds. You analyze conversations repeatedly. You think through situations from every angle. You rehearse future scenarios in your head hoping you can somehow protect yourself from disappointment if you stay alert enough emotionally. At times, your thoughts become so crowded with worry that peace feels impossible to hold on to for very long. I understand why you became this way. Fear taught you that if you relaxed too much, pain might catch you unprepared again. You have been carrying an invisible pressure to keep everything under control because uncertainty feels dangerous to your heart now. After surviving seasons where things suddenly fell apart, your mind developed habits designed to prevent future hurt. You try managing every detail emotionally. You overthink decisions. You search constantly for reassurance. You become anxious when answers do not arrive quickly enough. Meanwhile, your soul grows more exhausted from carrying responsibilities that were never fully yours to control in the first place. Come closer now and stop fighting every unknown future moment before it even arrives. Sit quietly with me for a while and let your thoughts slow down. You were never meant to carry the burden of controlling every outcome. Some things are beyond your ability to predict no matter how much you worry about them beforehand. Yet fear keeps convincing you that constant mental tension equals protection. It does not. It only drains your peace little by little until your spirit feels permanently tired. I know there are situations in your life right now that feel uncertain. Questions remain unanswered. Certain paths still look unclear. Some prayers still seem delayed. That uncertainty makes your heart restless because you desperately want stability after carrying emotional exhaustion for so long. But listen carefully to me now. Trust cannot grow while control remains clenched tightly around every part of your life. At some point, your heart must decide whether fear will continue leading your thoughts or whether you will allow me to guide you even through uncertainty. Invite me into the fears you rarely speak aloud. Bring me the pressure you carry internally. Stop pretending you can think your way into perfect safety. You cannot heal while remaining trapped in constant emotional vigilance. Breathe deeply now and release the need to predict every possible disappointment before it happens. Not every future chapter is waiting to wound you. I want your heart to experience freedom from this endless tension. That freedom begins when you stop gripping every detail so tightly. Rest your thoughts for a moment. Let yourself exist without trying to solve everything immediately. You are allowed to trust me one step at a time instead of demanding complete certainty before peace becomes possible. Stay here with me now and loosen your grip slowly. I am still protecting your life even in seasons where the road ahead feels unclear. You do not need to control everything for your future to remain safe in my hands. My child, as you loosen your grip on fear and stop trying to control every outcome, allow your heart to trust me enough to become a vessel through which my word reaches others who are still drowning in anxiety and despair. Many souls are searching for peace tonight, and through this message I am extending my hand toward them. But I am also inviting willing hearts to help carry this fire further. Remember what I declared: give, and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Your support through super thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the video description is not merely a financial act. It is spiritual obedience that helps spread hope into homes filled with fear and silence. Every offering becomes like oil poured into lamps that refuse to go out in a dark generation. I see those who respond quickly when I move upon their hearts, and I release peace, unexpected provision, and divine covering over those who sow faithfully into my work. Do not let hesitation silence your obedience while your spirit is being stirred right now. Step forward immediately, support this mission, and trust me to multiply what you place into my hands. My beloved child, fear has followed you quietly for longer than many people realize. Some fears speak loudly while others settle silently into daily life until they begin shaping the way you think, love, trust, and move through the world. You fear disappointment because you have experienced it before. You fear rejection because certain wounds still remain tender inside you. You fear losing peace because life once became unstable without warning. Over time, those fears slowly changed the atmosphere inside your heart. You became accustomed to preparing yourself emotionally for bad outcomes before they even happened. Instead of expecting peace, you often brace yourself for struggle automatically. Even during calm moments, part of your mind stays alert, waiting for something painful to interrupt the stability. I know why your heart learned this habit. Pain trained your nervous system to stay guarded. Yet I never intended fear to become the voice directing your entire future. Come sit with me honestly now and let your soul breathe again. You cannot fully experience peace while fear controls every decision, every relationship, and every expectation inside your life. Fear narrows your vision until all you notice are potential dangers. It drains joy from good moments because part of your mind remains busy anticipating loss. It keeps your heart emotionally tense even when nothing harmful is happening in the present moment. I want you to start recognizing how often fear has been speaking through your thoughts. Fear tells you people will eventually leave. Fear tells you healing will never fully happen. Fear tells you your future cannot hold lasting peace because pain has followed you for too long already. But fear is not wisdom, my child. Fear simply repeats old wounds until they start sounding like permanent truth. Invite me into the anxious places inside your heart instead of hiding them behind independence. Bring me the fears you try controlling privately. Stop believing you must conquer every emotional battle completely alone before asking for help. Healing begins when honesty enters the places fear has ruled quietly for years. Now take a deep breath and let yourself remain present instead of constantly living inside imagined future problems. You do not need to solve tomorrow before today is finished. You do not need to prepare emotionally for every possible heartbreak before life unfolds naturally. Peace becomes possible when your heart learns how to trust me in the present moment instead of obsessing over every uncertain future scenario. I know this process takes time. Fear does not disappear overnight after years of emotional survival. But little by little, I am teaching your soul how to rest again. I am teaching you how to experience calm without immediately expecting disaster afterward. Stay close to me through this process. Keep opening your heart honestly instead of retreating back into emotional walls. Your future does not belong to fear, my child. You are learning how to live differently now. My beloved child, after everything you have carried, survived, questioned, and silently endured, I need you to let this truth settle deeply into your heart now. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are not standing outside the reach of my love because of your struggles, your fears, your emotional exhaustion, or the mistakes you still regret. I have remained close to you through every chapter, even the ones where you felt emotionally disconnected from me. There were moments you believed you had drifted too far, but I never stopped watching over your life. I never stopped caring about your heart. Even when you became tired of yourself, I still saw value, beauty, and purpose inside you. I know how hard this journey had been at times. Some seasons drained your confidence. Certain disappointments changed the way you viewed yourself and your future. You spent nights fighting battles nobody else understood while still trying to function normally during the day. You carried fear quietly. You carried loneliness quietly. You carried questions quietly. Yet through all of it, something inside you kept reaching for hope, even when your strength felt fragile. That matters more than you realize. Come closer now and stop resisting the love you have spent so long searching for everywhere else. Sit with me honestly. Let your heart finally rest from constantly trying to prove itself worthy. You do not need to earn my presence through perfection. You do not need to hide your wounds before approaching me. Bring me your tiredness. Bring me your uncertainty. Bring me the parts of yourself you still struggle to accept fully. I already know every hidden corner of your heart, and I am still here beside you. I need you to stop speaking over your future with hopelessness now. Your story is not ending in fear, exhaustion, or emotional emptiness. There is still healing unfolding inside you. There is still peace your soul has not fully experienced yet. There are still moments ahead that will remind your heart what joy feels like again. The enemy tried convincing you that your pain defined you permanently, but pain is not your final identity. You are still growing. You are still healing. You are still becoming the person I created you to be long before fear, disappointment, and heartbreak touched your life. Now breathe deeply and let yourself receive this moment fully. Stop running emotionally. Stop preparing for rejection before love even reaches you. Open your heart again. Invite me into every area where fear still whispers that nothing will change. Let me guide you forward one step at a time. You do not need to understand the entire road ahead before trusting me with today. Stay close to me now, my child. Keep listening for my voice when the world grows loud again. Keep bringing me your heart honestly instead of hiding behind emotional walls. You are still deeply loved. You are still being guided. And even now, after everything you survived, your life is still unfolding with purpose. My child, I know there are moments when you feel emotionally stuck, as though life has remained heavy for so long that change almost feels impossible to imagine anymore. You look around at your circumstances, your unanswered questions, your exhaustion, and the weight you still carry inside your heart, and part of you wonders whether anything will truly shift. Fear keeps whispering that this is simply how your life will always feel now. But I need you to stop listening to that voice for a moment and come closer to me instead. What feels permanent to you right now is not the final chapter of your story. You have been standing far closer to breakthrough than you realize. The reason this season feels so emotionally intense is because something inside you is already beginning to loosen from the grip of old fear, old pain, and old hopelessness. Yet when healing starts unfolding, fear often becomes louder because it senses change approaching. That is why your mind has been fighting so many internal battles lately. Part of your spirit is trying to move toward peace while another part still braces for disappointment because pain trained you to expect heartbreak before joy could fully arrive. Come sit with me honestly now and stop measuring your future only by what your eyes can currently see. Some of the most important shifts in your life are happening beneath the surface where fear cannot fully understand them yet. You keep asking for visible proof while I am already restoring hidden places inside your heart first. Your thinking is changing slowly. Your boundaries are becoming healthier. Your spirit is becoming more honest. Your heart is learning how to recognize peace instead of chaos. Those changes matter deeply, even if they seem small to you right now. I know discouragement still visits you sometimes. There are nights when old thoughts return and tell you nothing will ever truly improve. Yet look at yourself carefully, my child. You are still here. You are still listening. You are still reaching toward healing instead of fully surrendering to darkness. That alone reveals strength growing inside you that fear cannot erase. Now breathe deeply and stop speaking defeat over your future. Stop assuming breakthrough must arrive dramatically before it becomes real. Some breakthroughs begin quietly inside the soul long before circumstances visibly change. Invite me into your expectations again. Let yourself believe that peace can become more familiar than fear. Let yourself imagine a future where your heart no longer lives trapped in survival mode every single day. Stay close to me through this process. Do not run backward emotionally just because healing feels unfamiliar at times. Your breakthrough is not as far away as exhaustion keeps telling you. Something is already shifting within you, and the life ahead of you will not look exactly like the painful seasons behind you. My beloved child, before you move on from this message, I need you to stay still for just a little longer and truly allow these words to settle into your spirit. Too often you rush past moments that were meant to reach your heart deeply because your mind immediately returns to distractions, responsibilities, worries, and the noise surrounding your life. But this moment is different. Something inside you already recognizes that. That quiet stirring you feel while listening right now is not accidental. Your soul is responding because it knows I have been speaking directly into places you tried hiding even from yourself. You have spent so much time surviving that slowing down feels uncomfortable now. Silence sometimes scares you because it forces hidden emotions to rise to the surface. Yet I need you to stop running from your own heart. Stay here with me honestly for a moment longer. Let yourself feel what you have been trying to push away. Let yourself acknowledge how tired you truly became emotionally. Stop pretending your soul is unaffected by everything you have carried through these seasons. I know there is still fear inside you about what happens next. You wonder whether peace will actually last if it finally comes. You question whether healing is truly possible after carrying emotional pain for so many years. But do not allow fear to rush you away from this invitation. The enemy wants distraction to pull you away before these truths fully settle into your spirit, because distraction keeps people disconnected from healing. Stay present now. Breathe deeply. Listen carefully to what your heart had been longing to hear for so long. You are not reading these words by coincidence. I brought you here intentionally because your soul needed this reminder at exactly this moment in your journey. I needed you to remember that your life still matters deeply to me. I needed you to hear that your future has not been ruined by the chapters that hurt you. I needed your heart to stop carrying hopelessness alone in silence. Now open your heart fully and invite me deeper into your life instead of only visiting my presence during moments of crisis. Let this become more than an emotional moment that fades tomorrow. Let this become the beginning of deeper trust, deeper honesty, and deeper healing inside you. Stop returning immediately to emotional numbness the second this message ends. Protect what your spirit is feeling right now. Stay close to me after this moment passes. Speak to me honestly when fear returns. Come back to my presence when discouragement rises again. You do not need to carry life alone anymore, my child. And do not forget this truth as you move forward from here. The hidden message you were selected to hear was never only about comfort. It was an invitation into transformation. My beloved child, if these words have awakened something deep within your spirit, then do not walk away from this moment without responding to what I am placing on your heart right now. This message was never meant to end as temporary emotion. It was meant to ignite transformation that spreads far beyond your own life. There are countless wounded hearts still waiting for the same reminder I gave you today, and your support helps carry this living water into places where hopelessness has been choking souls in silence. Did I not say freely you have received, freely give? When you support through super thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the video description, you become part of the harvest I am gathering in this hour. Your generosity is like seed falling onto prepared ground, and I will cause it to return with increase, favor, open doors, and protection over your household. Heaven notices every act of obedience connected to compassion, and I am calling my people to move quickly when their hearts are stirred. Do not allow distraction to pull you away from this divine appointment. Act now. Sow into this mission and help my voice reach the souls who desperately need it. Before you leave this moment, do not ignore what your spirit is feeling right now. If you know this message found you at the exact time your heart needed it most, then step forward boldly and declare it in the comments. I was selected for this message. Let those words become your act of faith, your reminder that you are not forgotten, abandoned, or unseen. And if you are ready to stop carrying fear, exhaustion, and hopelessness alone, I receive what God is preparing for me. Do not stay silent while your soul is waking up. This moment was not random, my child, and neither is the future I am leading you toward. Amen.